program, a platform that is established by Program Quality Director DTM Yasser Al-Qashar, and this series is coordinated by DTM Jahangir Khan. This is Nawar speaking to you. I'm joining from Iraq. I'm currently serving as Area 11 Program Quality Director. Fellow Fresh Toastmasters, welcome on board. AHLAN wa SAHLAN. As you know, Toastmasters International is a world in itself. And as you are starting this great journey in your life, we are presenting to you this series of workshops to take you through the basics of what is Toastmasters. You will get to know more and more about what the world of Toastmasters entails. So this workshop is the best fit for you. So stay tuned of what is coming very shortly. Before we move forward to the agenda, I'd like to draw attention to some points so that we could have a very fulfilling session. First of all, everyone, please let's try to make our mics muted and our cameras are turned off if you are not speaking or presenting, in order not to distract the speaker, presenter, and also the ones who are listening, so that we could have a very effective session together and we understand each other and we listen very carefully. Second of all, I have two great helpers with me today. The IT moderator, dear TM Madhu, who's helping us a lot with the IT stuff. And also, especially to the presenters, please pay attention to the timer. He's Vikram, TM Vikram. Please pin the timer. And also, I'd like to request the IT moderator and timer to introduce yourself in the chat so that everyone get to know who you are. And especially, as I mentioned, for the speakers, try to pin the timer so that we stick to the time and we don't go beyond that. Finally, special thanks to Program Quality Director, dear DTM Yasser Al-Qashar, for making it today and for attending. Thank you so much for attending this workshop. And finally, it's such an honor for me to be here today and presenting and taking the lead of this workshop as a Master of Ceremonies. Without further ado and without wasting our time, let's get started with the agenda. As you can see, today we have three amazing speakers who will take us through very, very useful topics, from the meeting roles and responsibilities to the introduction to pathways, and finally we will finish on how to craft a speech. We will have also Q&A session after that. If you have any questions after each presenter, please type it in the chat. We will collect it and we will manage to answer your questions by the end of this of the three presentations today, inshallah. Other than that, without further ado, let's move forward to the first speaker, dear Vicky Walker. Vicky Walker is a chartered accountant by profession and by passion. He is a violinist, gardener, Toastmaster, a singer, a cook, and the list could go very, very long. His favorite quote is, "Living is more important than making a living." He lives in the Kingdom of Bahrain for 3 years, and it feels forever to him. Today, he's going to introduce us to the meeting roles and responsibilities of each Toastmasters sessions. TM Vicky Walker, meeting roles and responsibilities. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nawad, for that wonderful introduction. Am I audible and visible to all of you?
Perfectly, but you can flip down your laptop screen so your video will, yeah, very good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. All right, let me share my screen, but before I share my presentation, may I please acknowledge the presence of TTM Yasir, all the Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and my dear new members, AHLAN wa SAHLAN. It's my pleasure to present a little bit about what I know about the Toastmasters International's roles and responsibilities. Is everybody able to see my screen?
Not yet.
I think Toastmaster Vicky, your internet is slow. So did you share your presentation with the MC so he can help? Toastmaster Vicky?
Yes, I'm not sure what happened.
I believe your internet is slow. So
My internet is perfect because I am in the office. I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, now it is.
All right. Jumping onto the slide directly. Dear Toastmasters, as Toastmasters, when we join the Toastmasters Club, we always come up with an objective. If I had to ask all of you, what was your objective while joining Toastmasters International Club, what would you say? I'm sure many of you would have a lot of answers, but for the purpose of this presentation, I have broadly classified
Sorry to
these.
disturb you, TM Mickey. Your screen is only showing a blank Outlook page. The actual presentation is not visible. Would you be able to present the or share the presentation itself? Maybe stop the screen sharing, open the presentation, and then do the screen sharing once.
Okay. Is the presentation visible now?
Yes, now it's visible. Thank you very much. Apologies for interrupting.
And no problem. Thank you so much. I hope it's visible even now.
Yes, it is.
It isn't visible to me though.
Yeah, it is visible to us.
All right. So I was saying that the objective with which we joined Toastmasters Club, I have classified these objectives in two broad categories. One is to improve our communication skills, and two is to develop leadership skills. We might have many answers from many speakers why do they join Toastmasters Club. But if we have to sum up, all the objectives would come under these two categories or would actually even overlap. Moving on, what would be the two different types of roles that Toastmasters would play? Now, for the purpose of this presentation, what I have done is I have classified these roles into two parts. One, I would term it as executive roles, and second, leadership roles. Now, for the purpose of this presentation, I would be focusing more on the executive roles. Now, these are the roles that are actually played during the meeting. And then later on, we would also take a look at the leadership roles. What are the different types of executive roles that you would come across while you attend the Toastmasters meeting? In my observation, every club that I have visited, they conduct their meeting twice a month. There could be a different frequency for different clubs. So what are these roles that I would call executive roles? The first one, Toastmaster of the Day. We also call it TMOD. As a Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster of the Day is nothing but the MC of the meeting, like we have Toastmaster Nawar today, who conducts the entire session in a seamless manner. Actually, TMOD has a very special role. Sometimes TMOD is also referred to as the man of the day or the man of the meeting, because the person who takes up this role actually decides what would be the theme of the meeting. The TMOD would actually reach out to every member who is going to attend the meeting, who is the member of the club, and actually fetch information from them and use that information to introduce them during the meeting. The theme of the meeting can be anything or everything that the TMOD wants. It could be summer vacation, it could be health is wealth, or it could be feelings and emotions, it can be cricket, football, and so on. TMOD can get as creative as possible. TMOD would also help the VP education in drafting the agenda of the meeting. TMOD is in complete control of what happens during the meeting, and it is Toastmaster of the day. It is his responsibility to ensure that the meeting is conducted in a seamless and a smooth manner. That's why he has the most important role to play during the meeting. That's why we can also say that he is the hero of the meeting. Coming up next, the grammarian. We all know that grammar is actually the soul of any language. Any language without a proper usage of grammar can sound extremely funny. Therefore, focusing on grammar is very important. As a grammarian, what would be the role of the person taking up this role? So the grammarian would introduce a new word to the club every single time there is a new meeting. So for every meeting, there would be a new grammarian and would introduce a new word. Now this word of the day has to be, if not very closely, but it has to be somewhere in relation to the theme of the meeting. The grammarian would actually perform the role of observing excellent usage of grammar, quotes, proverbs, and figures of speech during the meeting. The grammarian is also responsible to point out wherever there is bad usage of grammar and present a well-drafted report towards the end of the meeting. Coming up next, our counter. Now, in my observation, I've seen that in many clubs, the grammarian role, the role of the grammarian, and the role of our counter is combined together, and only one person is playing both the roles. But it is highly recommended that these roles should be performed by two different individuals. While grammarian focuses on the language, on the grammar, our counter focuses on the usage of fillers used by every speaker during their speech, evaluation, and address. Now, most of the individuals do not even realize when they start using fillers while speaking. It is taken for granted, and you will not believe that there are not few fillers in existence like ums. There are so many fillers, there can be a long list. It can be so, just, kind of. Even long pauses can be considered as fillers, and a good speaker, a well experienced speaker, knows how to use fillers and even then make the audience feel that he never used them. Timer. Now, this is one role which, in my opinion, is always belittled. Many Toastmasters feel, okay, timer role, I just have to sit with a watch and see how many minutes. But in real, timer role is very crucial. When a person takes up timer role, he or she has three main responsibilities. First is to explain the timing criteria for all the categories of speeches, that is, prepared speeches, evaluation, table topic speeches, and icebreaker speech. Timer also has to give signals to the speaker while the speaker meets the timing criteria. So when the speaker meets the minimum time criteria, timer is responsible to show a signal by showing a green card, followed by a yellow card, and finally the red card. Not only this, but the timer also has to present a well-drafted report towards the end of the meeting when the general evaluator evaluates the entire meeting. Having said that, these are the three important roles of the timer. But the interesting fact is that timer actually has a considerable amount of time on the agenda, almost 3 minutes. The timer would not take so much time to introduce or to spell out the timing criteria. So it is recommended that the timer should use this time to have a small address related to timing. For example, I would like to give this example because this is one quote that I personally liked so much. This timer at the Karnataka Toastmasters Club said, "Time stops for nobody. Time stops for nobody. But as a Toastmaster, we should know when it is the time we have to stop." Upcoming next, table topic master. Now this is one individual everybody is scared of. As new Toastmasters, we try to hide behind the chairs or behind the bench so that this person doesn't call us on the stage. But trust me, as a table topic master, when you take up this role, your responsibility is not to scare the person, but actually to encourage the person to come up on the stage and attempt the table topic. Table topics are usually taken, the topics which are used for table topic session generally have to be in line with the theme of the meeting. For example, if your meeting is based on the theme feelings and emotions, then all your table topics should be revolving around the theme. Also, in table topic session, the topics that are selected by the table topic master should not be difficult. They should be as easy so that every person can speak something about it. We must remember that the whole idea of conducting table topic session is to encourage people to speak on the spot on any given topic and not to embarrass them. So the table topic master can get as creative as possible and come up with beautiful topics which can be attempted by every speaker present in the room. In fact, table topic masters should come up with such topics that everybody should feel like attempting that topic. That's the sign of a good table topic master. Upcoming next, the speaker. Speaker plays an important role during the education session of the meeting. Now, as a speaker, there are many responsibilities which would start even before the meeting, would go on during the meeting, and will continue even after the meeting. So, what are the responsibilities of the speaker? First of all, the speaker must prepare well for his project. First of all, the speaker must know what is his project all about, get the criteria. The speaker's duty is to reach out to the mentor, share the draft speech with the mentor, and then receive feedback from the mentor and make those changes in the speech and practice that speech well in advance before going for the meeting. The speaker should also share the evaluation sheet, which contains the project details with the allotted evaluator. And finally, when the meeting day comes, the speaker has to deliver that speech in the given amount of time. Coming up next, the evaluator. Now, evaluator is someone who, who has to listen more carefully and then focus on speaking, because till the time you listen to the speech, you will not be able to evaluate the speech. So the first duty of the evaluator is to obtain the evaluation sheet from the speaker, get a printout, a hard copy of the evaluation sheet, and then when the speech is delivered by the speaker, Listen to the speech carefully and then jot down all the observations and then present a report towards the end while the general evaluation session is conducted. Now, for the evaluators, you must remember that your duty as an evaluator is to ensure that the speaker is meeting the criteria mentioned in the evaluation sheet. So therefore, you must come up with at least 3 to 4 points where you feel that the speaker has done excellently well. This is going to help the speaker to elevate and to reach to the next level as a speaker. Your evaluation should be such that the speaker should feel that, yeah, I am an accomplished speaker. But not only that, your job is not just to praise the speaker, but also to give those points, few points of criticism. Let's not call it criticism, but constructive criticism that would help the speaker to take his speech to another level. Every evaluation must at least have 2 to 3 good points and at least 2 points of improvement. It should not be only positives or only negatives. It has to be a mix of both. That makes you a good evaluator. Besides the above roles, there are many roles which we can call executive roles. For example, we have had year session. I'm not sure if all of you would be aware of this, but year session is one session where the person would take up this role and during the entire meeting would observe every single thing minutely and draft a list of question and answers. Towards the end of the meeting, when the year session is conducted, he's going to ask questions based on what happened during the meeting. For example, when I delivered my icebreaker speech, I said, way back in 2014, I participated in a reality show called Master Chef India. During the year session, this Toastmaster asked, in which year did Toastmaster Wiki participated in MasterChef India? The answer was 2014. So this session is conducted just to ensure that everybody attending the meeting is actually also listening to the meeting. Then we have other role players like joke masters, a very difficult role, I would say. I've never had the chance to take up this role. A joke master's role is to entertain everybody for around 2 to 3 minutes when there is spare time. Then we have a role called Jam, which stands for just a minute, where you have to speak on any topic just for a minute. And then there is another concept which I came across recently known as Mighty Minutes, where the club president explained me that because sometimes speakers are not ready to deliver a speech of 4 to 5 minutes and they are very shy to come up on the stage. That's why we introduced this concept called Mighty Minutes, wherein a speaker is allowed to come on the stage and speak for as little as 30 seconds. Well, something is better than nothing. And besides all these roles, we also have general evaluator who would evaluate the entire meeting throughout the day. I'm sure that as new Toastmasters, you would be taking up all these roles. And for every single role, you will have to prepare yourself differently. But trust me, every single role is going to help you learn something new about yourself which you are not aware of before. I'm sure these executive roles, the explanation that you've received or the background that you've received would definitely help you in your meetings. Moving on to the next slide, leadership roles. Now, earlier we spoke about the executive roles. That was mostly about during the meeting. But the meetings cannot be conducted without having great leaders taking care of the club. And that's where the leadership role comes into picture. As leaders, we have president of the club, we have VP education, VP membership, VP public relations, treasurer, secretary, sergeant at arms. Now, the president of the club is the highest authority of the club who who would take care, who would oversee the functioning of the club with the help of his executive committee. And this is the executive committee. The president works closely with VP Education, VP Membership, VP Public Relations, and the other members of the executive committee. What is the role of VP Education? The role of VP Education is to ensure that the agenda of the meeting is drafted well in advance. All the names on the agenda, all the details mentioned on the agenda are accurate, and the agenda is circulated with all the role players well in advance. Besides, the VP Education would also have responsibilities like conducting contests in a timely manner and other activities as well. What is the role of VP membership? The role of VP membership is to ensure that new members are introduced to the club and the club grows every year, and the club is able to serve as many members as possible, and we have more great speakers in the club. VP Public Relations. Now, the VP Public Relation takes care of the social media of the club and ensures that the club has a good amount of visibility in the country or in the area or in the geographical location it's trying to reach out. As VP Public Relations, by the way, I am VP PR at my club, and my responsibilities are to ensure that whenever there is a new meeting, wherever there's a milestone meeting, I would prepare a flyer for that meeting based on the Toastmasters International criteria, and these are circulated among all the groups. This is also posted on the social media, and we are able to reach as many people as possible. In my, I would like to share my personal experience here as VP Public Relation. I think it really helps me to uh, know what is the value of brand. So that's why we say that whatever we learn in Toastmasters doesn't stay here. Actually, it goes a long way and it helps us also outside Toastmasters, because branding is something that can be very important to every business. Then next, treasurer, who takes care of if all the fees is collected from the members and the expenses of the clubs are taken care of and the record is maintained properly. The secretary of the club maintains the minutes of every single meeting conducted at the club, and is circulated among the members and also approved by the president of the club. Sergeant at Arms takes care of the administration of the entire club. He makes sure that all the necessary arrangements are made and everything is done in a timely manner. With that, I can say that the Toastmasters' roles and responsibilities are not only restricted before the meeting, during the meeting, but also after the meeting. This is Toastmaster Vicky Walker, Vice President Public Relations from ICAP Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much for listening so patiently. The floor is open for question and answers. I would be happy to answer if I can. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Nawar.
Thank you so much, dear TM Vicky. That was really useful and comprehensive explanation. Very amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the efforts you made. As mentioned, please, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. We will then answer it in the Q&A session at the part of the agenda. So anyone, if you have any questions that you would like to direct to TM Vicky, please type it in the chat. We will come to that later on. Thank you so much. And moving forward to the next part, from meeting roles and responsibilities to introduction to pathways. That is going to be presented by TM Jihad Nasr. She's an engineer graduate and an MBA holder, and she works as a project manager, public speaker, and soft skills trainer. She joined Toastmasters for a year now, and she's currently the Vice President of Membership of Cairo Toastmasters and Pathway Ambassadors for the District 20 in Egypt. TM Jihad Nasr, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nawar. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good evening, TM Jihad.
Sorry.
Good evening. One request. Since you're the presenter, could you please announce the presentation of certificate to the previous speaker?
I'm sorry, your voice has a lot of echo. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that we want to give away the certificate.
Just 1 second. We want to give away the certificate for
Toastmaster Vicky.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot that. Please, sorry, TM Jihad. So we forgot, sorry. So may I ask the IT moderator to present the certificate of appreciation to dear TM Vicky before we move forward? Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
No problem.
Just a second.
Take your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, dear Madhu. Thank you so much, Vicky, as well. Okay, the mic is over to you, dear Jihad.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone, again. I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm so honored to be part of your journey into becoming outstanding Toastmasters members. I'd like to start by saying that we are here in Toastmasters to learn. Learning is the process of acquiring knowledge and skills. It's something that we do all our lives, from the moment we are born to the moment we die. We learn in many different ways. We learn from our experiences, from our parents and teachers, and from our friends and colleagues. We learn from books and from the internet and from the world around us. But the thing is, we are here in Toastmasters also to have fun. And who said that we cannot do both of them at the same time? So I'm here today to tell you how we do it in Toastmasters, how we learn and have fun in the same way. Let me introduce you to the pathways. First, my name is Toastmaster Diherno, and I'm going to be the presenter of the Introduction to Pathways training today. I think it's only fair to start by saying what pathway is. What is the thing that we call pathway? The educational program offered by Toastmasters International that we call Pathways is something that assists members in gaining the information and skills necessary for success in both their personal and professional lives. Members can select their own learning routes and proceed at their own pace in this flexible and interactive program. That's why Pathways was designed in the first place. But how did it start? What is the story behind Pathways? We can say that when the Toastmasters International Board of Directors called for the revitalization of the present educational program in 2010, the narrative of Pathways officially began. The board realized that because of how quickly things were changing, Toastmasters needed to offer its members a training program that would prepare them for success in the 21st century. The new program's study and design took several years from the Pathways development team. They did a comparative examination of competing educational programs and solicited input from members all over the globe. One option was to update the educational curriculum in order to better represent contemporary communication situations and the potent leadership lessons that may be learned from joining us. The board of directors and board headquarters team conducted extensive research and analysis to determine why so few members were advancing through the present educational program and what they want to make it a more meaningful experience for them. Thousands of members offered feedback throughout this process. whether it was by taking part in the program pilot, working as a learning master, or acting as a set of ambassadors. The time frame was then changed to take into account the new developments that we found in this research. And pathway was finally introduced in 2018. It has experienced tremendous success. Members adore the program's adaptability and engagement, and they value how it teaches them the skills that they need to excel in both their personal and professional lives. So Pathways has already made a big impact on the Toastmasters community. It has helped members to develop their skills and knowledge, and it has helped them to achieve their personal and professional goals. The story of Pathways, in my opinion, is still being written, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for this innovative educational program. Now it's your turn. You can now entirely control the skills you develop through Pathways, since the new program offers 11 different alternative learning pathways. You can choose any one of them. You can apply more than 300 different competencies, and more than 60 in each pathway you can implement directly in your workspace. You can fully engage in the program using the extensive online material, which is what thousands of members prefer according to the study. So now let me tell you a little bit what a pathway looks like. When you get enrolled in a pathway, you will find out that each pathway is divided into 5 levels. And each level has a number of projects. Members must complete these projects in order to complete the level and accordingly complete the pathway. Projects can include speeches, presentations, activities, and assessments. Members acquire competencies or particular skills and information they have acquired as they complete or accomplish the task. In addition, members can also receive prizes for reaching the program milestone. Members of Toastmasters can build the skills necessary for success in both their personal and professional lives through pathways. So it's a fantastic way to meet new people and learn new things. But you must be wondering, why should I enroll in a pathway? Why shouldn't I enroll in any other different educational program? So let me tell you at least 4 advantages of the pathway as educational program. First, it's flexibility. Members can choose their own learning pathway and they can learn at their own pace. Also, the interactivity. Pathways offer a variety of interactive learning tools, such as videos, quizzes, and activities. Also, the relevance is something that you should consider, because Pathways is designed to teach members the skills that they need to succeed in their personal and professional life. Last but not least, the recognition, because members earn competency and awards for completing projects and milestones. Now let me tell you a brief about the different pathways, so you can have an idea what are the differences between them, and that might help you to choose the right pathway for you. The first pathway that we have is a dynamic leadership. This path helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to be effective leaders in any setting. Members learn how to set goals, motivate others, and build confidence. This pathway helps you build your skills as a strategic leader and negotiator. You will work through projects that focus on understanding leadership and communication styles, the effect of conflict on a group, and the skills needed to diffuse and direct conflict. Each project also emphasizes the development of the strategy to facilitate the change in an organization or a group, interpersonal communication, and public speaking. The dynamic leadership pathway comes to an end with a project that focuses on applying your leadership. The second pathway is the effective coaching. This pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to be effective coaches. Members learn how to build rapport, set goals, and provide feedback. This pathway will help you build your skills as a positive communicator, leader, and coach. You will work through projects that focus on understanding and building confidence, contributing to the development of others, and coaching and establishing strong public speaking skills. Each project emphasizes the importance of effective interpersonal communication. The effective coaching pathway ends up with a high-performance leadership project of your design. Then, the engaging humor pathway. This pathway helps members to develop the skills and knowledge they need to use humor effectively in their speeches and presentations. Members learn how to write and deliver funny stories and jokes. The engaging humor pathway is designed to help you build your skills as a humorist and engaging public speaker. The projects on this pathway focus on understanding your sense of humor and how that sense of humor translates to engaging audience members. The project contributes to developing an understanding of how to effectively use humor in a speech, including challenging situations and impromptu speeches. This pathway ends up with an extended humorous speech that will allow you to apply what you have learned. The innovative planning pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to plan and execute successful events and projects. Members learn how to identify goals, develop timelines, and manage resources. This pathway helps you build your skills as a public speaker, leader, and project manager. Your projects focus on creating innovative solutions and building public speaking skills. These skills include developing strong audience connections, speech writing and delivery. Each project contributes to building an understanding of the steps needed to manage a project. The innovative planning pathway ends up with a high-performance leadership project of your design. Then we have the leadership development pathway. This pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to be effective leaders in this organization. Members learn how to create a vision, build teams, and achieve results. This pathway will help you build your skills as an effective communicator and leader. You will work through projects that focus on learning how to develop and implement a plan as well as time management. Each project emphasizes public speaking and team leadership skills. The leadership development pathway ends up with a planning and execution of an event that will allow you to apply everything that you have learned. The motivational strategies pathway. This one will help members develop the skills and knowledge they need to motivate others. Members learn how to identify different motivational factors, set goals, and provide positive feedback. This pathway will help you build your skills as a powerful and effective communicator. You will work through projects that focus on how to build connections with others, understand the principles of motivation, and successfully lead small groups to accomplish goals. The motivational strategies pathway, it ends up with a comprehensive team building project that brings all of your skills together, including public speaking. The persuasive influence. This pathway helps members to develop the skills and knowledge they need to persuade others to adopt their point of view. Members learn how to identify their audience, develop strong arguments, and deliver their messages effectively. This pathway will help you build your skills as a persuasive communicator and leader. You will work through projects that focus on how to negotiate a positive outcome while still building strong interpersonal communication and public speaking skills. Each project emphasizes the development of leadership skills for complex situations and how to create innovative solutions to solve challenges. The persuasive influence pathway ends up with a high-performance leadership project of your design. And the presentation mastery, which is my pathway. This pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to deliver effective presentations. Members learn how to develop a strong structure, use visual effectively, and deliver their message with confidence. From my experience, I can tell you that the presentation mastery pathway is designed to help you build your skills as an accomplished public speaker. The projects on this pathway focus on learning how an audience responds to you and improving your connection with audience members. The projects contribute to developing an understanding of effective public speaking techniques, including speech writing and speech delivery. This pathway ends up with an extended speech that will allow you to apply everything that you have learned. and the strategic relationships pathway. This pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to build and maintain strong relationships with others. Members learn how to communicate effectively, build trust, and reduce conflict. This pathway can help you build your skills as a leader in communication. You will work through projects that focus on understanding diversity, building personal or professional connections with a variety of people, and learn how to develop a public relations strategy. Each project emphasizes interpersonal communication and public speaking. The strategic relationships pathway ends up with a project where you will apply your skills as a leader in a volunteer organization. And the team collaboration pathway. This one helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to work effectively in teams. Members learn how to set goals, communicate effectively, and resolve conflicts. This pathway helps you build your skills as a collaborative leader. You will work through projects that focus on active listening, motivating others, and collaborating with the team. Each project contributes to building interpersonal communication and public speaking skills. The team collaboration pathway ends up with a project focused on applying their leadership skills. Last but not least, visionary communication. This pathway helps members develop the skills and knowledge they need to communicate their vision and inspire others to follow them. Members learn how to develop a vision, create a narrative, and deliver their message effectively. This pathway will help you build your skills as a strategic communicator and leader. You will work through projects that focus on developing your skills for sharing information with a group, planning communications, and creating innovative solutions. Each project emphasizes speech writing and delivery. The visionary communication pathway ends up with the development and launch of a long-term personal or professional goal. Now, I believe that you think that all of this sounds great. How can I enroll in a pathway? Of course, you can always lean to your VPE or Vice President of Education in your club to assist you in the process. But I'm going to give you a brief about the process. The first step that you need to do is to log in. Using your email or your PN code and your password, you need to log in the Toastmasters portal or platform. Then, you need to go to the Educational Programs tab and click on it. This will give you this window where you can select pathway. Scroll down until you reach choose a pathway. Then you will have to choose your preferences. Like what's the best language that you want to use. You can use Arabic, you can use English. You can choose from the variety that will be presented. You can then choose how would you like to get access to your material. It's digital resources now, so you need to select. Then it will ask you how would you like to select your learning path. You have two options. You can view all the path options. You can read and learn about each one of them and accordingly make your choice. Or you can take an assessment where it will ask you a couple of questions and accordingly recommend you a couple of pathways to choose from. Let's assume that you have clicked on view all pathway options. You will have this window with the 11 pathways. You can always click on each one of them to learn more about it. You can even find that some pathways will have some modifications in the future, and you can have an idea about what these modifications will be. Accordingly, you can choose what is the pathway that's perfect for you. Click on it and click enroll. You will receive this notification that will tell you that thank you for enrolling in Toastmasters pathway, and you will be ready to get your icebreaker. I'm not going to tell you what an icebreaker is, so this is your job to learn. Get ready for it because it's your first step to become an effective member with Toastmasters. It was great to give this training to you, and I'm so honored to be part of your experience. Now the floor is yours. If you have any questions, I'm all ears. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear. That was a really comprehensive and remarkable and interactive presentation, and really helpful, actually. Thank you so much for this great work. And now may I ask the IT moderator again to present the certificate of appreciation to TM Jihad, please. Congratulations, dear. Well deserved.
Thank you.
And finally, from introduction to pathways to crafting a speech, that is going to be presented by TM Nasreen Sheikh. She is, Dr. Nasreen Sheikh. She's a PhD and master's in alternative medicine. She's a hijama trainer, therapist, and facial reflexologist. She's a fitness trainer and homeschooling mom. She's the founder and IPP of Empowered Women TMC. She's going to take us through on how to craft a speech in Toastmasters. Dr. Nasreen Sheikh, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, MC Toastmaster Nawar. Well, there are always 3 speeches for everyone you actually gave. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave so rightly. Well, handle them carefully, for words have more power than atom bombs. Grasp the subject and words will flow. So it's all about how you organize your speech. Good evening, my dear friends and dignitaries. Organize your speech in a logical sequence. Opening, main points, summary, practice, rehearse, speech frequently prior to delivering it. Ask friends to be audience. Practice in front of the mirror. Practice, practice, practice. Be sure to use a timer to help you pace your speech. Well, we all know about it. But now, let's zoom in. Take a deeper dive to understand how we can hone this skill. You know the reason why people suffer and subsequently become discouraged is that they don't know how to write or prepare for a speech. And that, my friends, is a real tragedy. Because when these people quit, they leave with great speeches dormant inside of them that will never see the light of day. It is clear to me that most people don't fear standing up to speak. They fear standing up and falling miserably. Well, I was fortunate to have veteran Toastmasters give me tips on how to prepare speech. And that is what I'm going to share with you. Number 1, finding the material. When confronted with the task of writing a speech, most of us suffer from writer's block. We get bogged down in our daily routine and find it hard to come up with fun and interesting materials. I have few suggestions, and I call it the brain and the heart well. We have so many stories, so many topics are there everywhere. Pay attention to your life and ideas will come, whether your issue is fitness, family, politics, religion. Pull it out, dust it off. It is a subject you are already passionate about. So use that material. You could probably give a speech on the subject without even writing. Impromptu speeches. How many times have you preached on your issues to your friends and family? Can I see some raise of hands? There you go. Now you have a captive audience at Toastmasters. Let's take advantage of it. By the way, family and friends are a great source of material too. Pick up the phone and talk to the people in your life. They will remind you about stories and events that help shape you and make bountiful speech topics. Keep a pen and a paper always ready with you. And that is what I do. Because anywhere, anytime, you might get inspired and you will get that beautiful speech that you can prepare just by anything and any incident that touched your heart. Organizing your speech. After you have searched your material, write it down. As I said, always keep your pen and pad handy. Write down all your speech ideas, stories, topics that grabbed you. Write that material down as short phrases. Then circle those phrases and write single words or short notes around the topics you have selected. Pick the first words that come to your mind. These words are the reason why you selected this topic in the first place. After you go through this exercise, one of the topics will beg you to be your speech. Write the topic at the top of a clean sheet of paper. Then write every phrase that comes to your mind that will support your topic or your point of view. Do not censor yourself. Just write freely until the page is full. Review the phrases you wrote and pick 3 or 4 points that best support your topic. List them in order of importance. You now have the skeleton of your speech ready. What do we do to flesh out our speech? Write examples or ideas that relate to each point. Edit them down to your best 2 to 3 subpoints. These subpoints should help articulate the point and naturally convert it into the next point. Few speakers can write speech of I have a dream, but each one of us can put together a talk that is understandable, meaningful, and relatable to the listener. It is a challenge that we can all overcome. All good speeches relies on 2 basic concepts. Number 1, the construction of the speeches, building blocks of beginning, middle, and end. But it should be consistent and there should be one common thread that runs throughout the talk that will link all the 3 parts together. Number 2 is the content, whether it is a personal story or a quote, whatever it may be, it should create a connection. Listeners respond to content that is relatable or of a personal value. So make your introduction relevant to the rest of the speech. The introduction is an important part to tickle that curiosity and generate excitement. It creates anticipation about what listeners expect, what they want to learn. The audience is listening for the connection between the opening and the rest of the message. If we don't provide that, we risk leaving the audience confused. I would suggest go for simplicity. A good story has a beginning, middle, and an end. Remember that it's often that simple. It is much easier to tie those components together with few main points without any abundance of details, numbers, too much of statistics, too much of dynamics, not required. But of course, if your project demands for that, go for it. But a typical club speech of 5 to 7 minutes provides a perfect window of time to make a few solid key points before the audience succumb to instinctive thoughts wandering. Fewer details can have a much greater impact than too many. Remember, listeners respond to content that is relatable or of a personal value. The audience's naturally short attention span is actually an advantage for the speaker. A few substantiated facts should be enough to garner credibility. You do not have to be an expert here on the topic you are presenting. An added bonus, you do not have to spend arduous time over researching your topic. Rely on your own voice and wisdom. Building a story becomes much easier when the topic is familiar or important to you. So do your research and pick up the topic you find comfortable or compelling. If something has piqued your interest, pursue it. If experience has taught you a lesson, share it. An audience is apt to relate to a speech that has commitment and passion behind it. But don't forget to include your personal story into it. Include that personal talk. People love stories, particularly personal ones. Science suggests that brain is wired to listen for and respond to stories. So take advantage of that. And your personal story can make your speech unique because nobody knows about it. And that can pick the interest of your audience. Audiences connect to speeches that have the heartstrings attached. Relay the conclusion back to the introduction. A good conclusion ties up all those loose ends for the audience. Listeners feel a sense of comfort and completion when a speaker offers an idea, follows through with information, and then finishes by solidifying the takeaway. Connect back the introduction with the call of action, an upbeat ending, a surprise, or a parting quote. The conclusion is likely to be the most memorable part of the speech and is what your typical listener will recall. So these are the basic guidelines that can help new speakers create an attention-holding talk that builds experience, confidence, and a new comfort level with audience. In fact, these tips are largely timeless and will help speakers to hone public speaking skills. When the moment comes, deliver your speech with passion and confidence. Of course, there are components of verbal and non-verbal communication and your keys to unlocking that winning speech within you. Again, I would like to remind the audience's attention is roughly between 10 seconds. So you have to grab that opportunity. You can start by telling a story or make a bold statement of your unique point of view, POV, as we know nowadays. And then, or you can ask a question. If you open with a question, use the body language to make it very clear you actually want an answer. And as you ask a question, plant one foot forward and raise the opposite hand high in the air, leaning a little forward towards the audience. This posture invites the audience to respond. But very important point here, now pause. Wait for the hands to go up or heads to nod. Just throwing out a rhetorical question and plowing on without a pause for audience's response has no dramatic impact whatsoever, and thus does not invite your audience into your POV journey. One more tip which I can give you is get your audience to laugh. Humor always sells. It is a way for us to signal to another person that we wish to connect with them. In fact, in a study of thousands of examples of laughter, the speakers in a conversation were found to be 46% more likely to laugh than the listeners. Funny situations and dialogues. In fact, this will help you also to cool and connect and relax. Use funny situation and dialogues to make your audience laugh. Often one of the humorous things that happen does so because it comes out of the mouth of the one of the characters within the story. Share something that happened with you and laugh it out with your audience. Ask the audience to visualize something. How can we do that? Begin with, imagine you are driving down a 2-lane country road. It's an early morning. So the air is cool and crisp and clean and fragrant with the smell of freshly mown hay. You're sipping a cup of coffee and feeling at peace with the world. Your cell phone breaks the silence and you distractedly dig for it in the bottom of your purse. Suddenly, bam, you hit an elephant. The magic of starting a story with the word imagine is that invites the audience into your world. Using the pronoun you and the present tense, you are driving instead of I was driving, and describing and the setting in terms of 5 senses places each listener squarely in the middle of the scene. They start imagining. They are almost there with you. An interesting opening introduces your audience to your unique point of view, gives them an idea of where you are going to take them, and invites them to join you on the journey. So write those kind of introduction, include all these elements. The purpose of your introduction is to grab the audience's attention. And then you are laying the foundation for the rest of your speech. So as I said, the opening can be a thought-provoking quote, a short story or a joke, whatever device you choose, use it, but grab the audience's attention and make them want to hear the rest of your speech. Then you need to lay out the points you will cover in the rest of your speech. Next, fill in the blanks using your subpoints as the guides to articulate your points. In the process of writing these points and subpoints, you have unwittingly written your speech. At this point, you need to add some color by adding your life stories, facts, explanations. But again, don't get bogged down by writing the details word to word. You just need to express an idea. And that's it. You have the body of your speech ready. Finally, craft a conclusion that neatly wraps up the points you made in the body of your speech. The conclusion is an opportunity to eloquently summarize the point of your speech. You can also use the conclusion to challenge your audience or to take action on your idea. This is your chance to stick your proverbial landing and exit gracefully. Take advantage of it. People may forget your individual points, but a strong conclusion will help them to remember the gist of your speech. And that is why every time I remind myself, and whenever I do the evaluation, that remember to give that one take-home message and repeat it so that it resonates in the minds of the audience, because that is the message that they take home. When you're preparing to speak, practice it a couple of times. That is definitely one thing that sometimes we fail to do. Practice, practice, practice in front of an audience. What you can do, you can even record your speech and you can see it several times. You yourself become your own evaluator. You can do it in your car on the way to work, while you're getting dressed in the morning, moments before your speech. Read over and over the outline. Ensure to have all these elements of opening and closing. And don't dwell on specific words in the body of your speech. The audience doesn't know what you wrote. They will accept what you are saying as if it is exactly as you meant to say it. So deliver your speech with confidence. And when your speech is over and the audience is applauding, you will remember why you were excited about being a Toastmaster. You have expressed yourself in a way that only you could. Your speech was organized and the audience received that gift that only you could give. Delivering great speeches is why we are here as Toastmasters. I can quickly see the red. Well, I want to again keep my speech's closure to be intact by saying this, that add the polish. As I said, repetitions of the message at least once or twice will help the listeners to take home that important message that you're trying to give. Don't forget the pauses in between. And you can also have some activities. Audience love activities. Raise of hands, give them some practice, ask some question, let them wiggle for a minute if you're going for the big long projects. Sometimes the activities will kill the boredom. Maybe the topic or the subject that you have selected is a little boring for some audience. So these activities will add that final spice to your speech. Commit to your memory. Don't just read out. As I said, make the framework. Memorize, practice, practice, but be sure that you are not reading out a report. Leave with a memorable ending. A strong opening and a memorable closing should be your primary focal points, whether building a sentence or a speech. Keep in mind, the most impactful points lie at the beginning and at the end. When you come to the end, think about how you want your speech to be remembered. Maybe you want to inspire listeners to do something, or perhaps you want to convey a unifying moment. But always remember, handle them carefully, for words have more power than atom bombs. I hope these points that we discussed will help you to craft your dream speech. And if time permits, I can quickly run the PPT. Let me just ask the timer if I can run the PPT or no. MC, TM Nawar.
Yes, we still have 5 minutes according to the agenda.
Fine,
Very
then
briefly.
let us. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. Opening main points, summary, practice, ask your audience, your friends, and practice in front of them. But don't forget the timer. Time is everything. All the speeches, everything that you give is time sensitive. So be careful. How do you pace it? And more tips as we discussed. Make your introduction relevant. Aim for the simplicity. Don't make it complex. Rely on your own voice and wisdom. Personal stories, personal talk, and conclusion should be connected back to your intro. And then the components of verbal and non-verbal. Mix it up and make that dream speech happen. Tell a story. Make your bold statement. Point of view. Ask a question. Add humor. And ask the audience to visualize something, beginning with imagine. And your brain and your heart will, where there are so many stories, dig it in, dig it in, dig it in. Whenever you get inspired, jot it down. That's the speech heart monitor. You can see the 7 minutes, the right timing, the proper intensity is equal to great speech. And this is how your graph goes, the speech heart monitor. So the more you are adding your personal story, you're touching people's heart, the topic is relatable, you know the audience, there is connection with the audience, and then you can reach into delivering your dream speech. Thank you all. If there are any questions, I guess we can have it now.
Thank you so much, dear Nasreen. What should I say after what has been mentioned right now? Actually, really, wow. What amazing speech and presentation. That was super helpful, actually, of course, for me and for everyone here. May I ask the IT moderator again and finally to present the certificate of appreciation, please? Congratulations, actually. Very well deserved, dear. That was really, I don't know, inspirational, that's to say. Thank you so much. At least you inspired me. I don't know about the others.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, now let's move to the Q&A session. Please, everyone, if you have any question to any one of the presenters, to Vicky, to Jihad and Nasreen, please write it down in the chat. It's the time for you to get some answers if you have any questions. Please type it in the chat. We'll look into it, then we will ask the presenter. Let's see if we have any questions. If we don't, then everything was very clear as crystal. Yes. Please, yeah, go ahead. Please write it in the chat, please. Okay. So Ali is saying, is it possible to share the recording with us? Yes. Yes, we will share it after the, I'm not sure, but of course we will, I think we will share the recording after the session in the district group. Yes, please go ahead, dear Yasser.
Nawar, regarding all the series of NMOP, it is already uploaded in our district YouTube. They can see series 1, series 2, and inshallah series 3 within 2 or 3 days. It will be uploading in the district 20 YouTube. You can see it.
Okay, damn. I hope that was clear for you, Ali. Thank you, dear Yasser. Yes, Ramla, go ahead, please. Can we draft a speech with just a message in our head? DTM Nasreen, this is for you, I think.
Yes, of course. That's what I meant when I said it's there in your head, it's there in your heart. Put it on paper. Anytime, anywhere. You are an artist. Wherever you get inspired, anything that you want to communicate, inspire people, jot it down. Don't miss that opportunity. immediately, instantly, and then some key points, and then your skeleton of your speech is ready. You can add the flesh and the colors to it later, but don't miss that opportunity. Go ahead.
Actually, Ramla is one of the fresh members of a fresh, newly club established in Iraq, the first corporate club in Iraq, Zain Iraq Toastmasters.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the best to you, Ya Ramla.
Thank you. I'm her mentor.
Mashallah, good.
Thank you. Okay.
She is lucky then.
Aiza raised her hand.
Someone was raising his or her hand. I wasn't able to pronounce the name.
Aiza,
Starts with A. Aiza, I think.
Aiza, yeah.
Zina will come to you after Aiza.
I think Aiza dropped out. She will
Yes.
come back.
Okay, let's move to Zina then. Okay, Zina, over to you.
No, Ayesha is here. She's now.
Aiza is here. Yeah.
Yes, hi. Good
okay,
evening.
hello.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone. I just have a small question. It's just 1 second. Yes. For example, if someone's joined Toastmaster, we have a lot of options for pathways. But once I choose the pathway and I'm not enjoying that pathway, what could be the best next alternative to that? If someone can guide me with that, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's about pathways. I think we should direct the questions to TM Jihad Nasr. If she is still here. Yes, go ahead.
Sure, I'm with you. So I highly recommend you to have a brief discussion with your Vice President of Education first before choosing a pathway. This will give you more information about the pathway that you are about to choose. And if you fancy at any minute, this is not that pathway for you, I highly recommend you to check with your VP person to help you with it.
I hope that was useful. Yes, go ahead, Darius.
Yeah, maybe DTM Nasreen also see if she can add to this one. Regarding this one, the pathway, now you should know before it was 11 path. Now they are changing, the Toastmaster changing from 11 path to 6 path only. So if you are going newly, you will see it is only 6 path. Still the people who choose from because the 5 path will be removed. If you are choosing one of the path that is already removed, you can continue up to you finish the pathway, but for the new one, it will be only 6 path. Usually, most of the path, maybe the first 2 projects is the same. It is the 3 and 4 and 5, it's totally different. And I encourage to continue. Nobody love or enjoying any pathway. There is something is more than pathway than the others, but it is not only just choosing the path because I like it or I don't like it. Sometimes it is to see which path you need to improve on it. Like if you want presentation skill, negotiations, maybe panel discuss, see the things that if you compare the skills that you need with the path, it will be the best. If you see in the pathway, there is a lot of 360 something skills. See which skill you want and see which path is the more skills related to the one you want to improve on. I feel it is the best way to choose the path. But if you don't like the path, still you can go and choose another path. You can open 2 or 3 paths in the same time and work each time from one path. It is your choice. You can add 2 or 3. I am working in 2 paths, different 2 paths. Okay, depend on the club that I am going or something. I can choose from this path. I want to work on this path or that path. So you can choose more than the one path in the same time and work on them. DTM Nasreen, anything to add from your side?
No, you have PQD, you completed the thing. I don't have to add anything, but there is a question in the chat. how can we simplify our personal stories, make a long story short and not being boring? Sometimes what happens, I myself, I will think that whatever I'm going to speak about is not relevant, or maybe it is boring, or it is not interesting. I say, be non-judgmental in your approach. Just write it down. You might be thinking negative. Don't think negative. What you are thinking is boring for yourself. Maybe it will be interesting for somebody else. Maybe somebody else is experiencing the same thing. It is a relatable topic. Just write it down and deliver it. And as I said, we have to be time sensitive, which means take the first point of view, make the sub points, add your personal story. Don't give details. As I said, no numbers, stats required. Just give the brief. But remember, whenever you are raising an issue or raising a problem, you have to provide an action plan and solution to it. So just make it interesting and don't think negative. Be positive, and you will see that your speech is very impactful and effective, and somebody out there wants to hear that. So don't be negative. Go ahead, just write it down.
All right, thank you so much, both Yasser and Nasreen. That's very helpful. And finally, let's move forward to Zina. The mic is yours.
Yes, Nawar, thank you. Well, at first, I'd like to thank you all for this great workshop. My question directed to Nasreen. Master Nasreen, in your opinion, what is the right action if I'm in the middle of a speech and forgot everything? I've done all the points that you have mentioned, but when I'm presenting my speech, I just forgot everything. In your opinion, what is the right action? How to write?
That is a wonderful, wonderful question. And each one of us, I'm sure in our life as a public speaker, goes through that mind freeze. Completely, you forgot everything what you have memorized. And for that, what I suggest is never memorize. Because if you memorize and mug up and you don't feel it from your heart, you don't have the complete construction of the speech in your head, even if one keyword you forget, you will forget everything. In case, even if you have not memorized it, but you are not able to speak, just relax, breathe in, ask a question, and then borrow some time, smile. You know, this will help you to borrow some time and then go back to what you remember. Because see, end of the day, whatever you remember, whatever you are talking about is a subject that you're passionate about, something that you are well versed with, or even if it is a new topic, keep small summary somewhere in front of you so that your eyes can fall in that. And then immediately continue from there. As I said, if you're adding your personal story, people don't know if you have forgotten something or it is a part of your own speech, that you're taking a pause and you are just, oh, I'm just taking a sip of water, just 1 sec. And you can take your breaks. You have your own things, the tips and tricks that can, again, your brain file will get retrieved and you can continue from there. Whatever you are doing, make it look like it is a part of your speech. Don't worry, we all get through this, and practice, practice, and practice, and don't memorize. Take it easy, speak from your heart. You will do good, Zina, don't worry.
Thank you so much. I totally agree with you. People don't know what you are going to say. Just say, yeah. Don't say, oh, sorry, I forgot, sorry. Yeah, they don't know. That's the trick, actually. Okay. I think that's it. With this question, we conclude the Q&A session. No one else has any question? We still have 1 minute, I think. Okay, all clear. Thank you so much, everyone. And finally, let's move forward to the awarding session. I'll hand it over to DM Danish for this part. Over to you, dear.
Thank you, Master Afsami, Toastmasters Nawar Ali. IT moderator, if there is the certificate for the role players, and I think DTM Nasreen presented the certificate, Master of Ceremony. Yeah, so presenter has been presented, and remaining the role players, can you share the certificate for the role players? Then I will say vote of thanks later.
Sure, I am presenting now.
Oh, first and foremost, timer Toastmasters Vikram Joshi. Thank you very much for giving your time and making the success this our session NMOP. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
None of them. Toastmaster Nawar Alani. Master
Thank
of
you.
Ceremony. Here is your certificate for appreciation. Thank you very much. Toastmasters Madhu, IT moderator. I really appreciate full session, flawless, no technical glitch. Thank you very much for your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and our esteemed presenters and organizers, and PQD, DTM Yasser, DTM Shiham also I noticed somewhere was there. CGD, DTM Shiham, I acknowledge your presence. I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude as we bring this enlightening educational session to a close. It has been an exceptional experience thanks to the tireless efforts and dedication of some incredible individuals. First and foremost, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our presenters, Toastmasters Vicky Wacker, maybe not here, for presenting the meeting roles and responsibility, and next our Toastmaster Jihad for presenting the introduction to the workshop. And last but not the least, presenter DTM Dr. Nasreen Sheikh, how to craft the speech. Very important session. Without crafting a speech, how we will deliver the speech. Thank you very much for that. And your all expertise, insights, and passion have truly enriched our understanding of the subject matter. Your presentation were not only the informative, but also the engaging. And we are genuinely appreciative of the knowledge you have shared with us today. A big round of applause, please. I would like also to acknowledge the outstanding work of the Master of Ceremony, Toastmasters Nawar Alani. Toastmasters Nawar, you kept the event flowing smoothly. Your energy was infectious, and your warm presence added a special charm to the proceeding. Thank you for being such a wonderful host of the meeting or master of the ceremony. Let us give a round of applause as well. Our timer, Toastmaster Bikram, played a crucial role in ensuring that each segment of the session was well managed and adhered to the schedule. Thank you for keeping us on track and ensuring that our time was used effectively. Please join me in showing appreciation for Toastmasters Vikram. And last but not the least, we most recognize the efforts of our IT moderator, Toastmasters Madhusudan. In today's digital age, your role in ensuring the seamless operation of our online platform is indispensable. Thank you for ensuring that our virtual attendees had a smooth and glitch-free experience. Let's give Toastmasters Madhusudan a round of applause too. In conclusion, this educational session would not have been possible without the dedication, hard work, and direction of our PQD and NMOP coordinator. He is not here, DTM Jahangir. Truly, I appreciate his full effort bring this fruitful session to us. So once again, thank you to our presenters, to all, and role players. Thank you very much. Hereby, Master of Ceremony, you can take over and adjourn the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Before we close the session, maybe I'll give some minutes to the Program Quality Director, DTTM Yasser, in case he wants to say something before we close the meeting.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony, Toastmaster Nawar. Thank you all people who's attending here and the people who left. Thank you for all the presenters. Started from Vicky, Jihad, Nasser, and Nasreen Sheikh for a great job. Well done. This is the third series of an NMOP. The next one will be on 29th of October. As you know, we are doing it the last Sunday of every month. This session, we are trying to, as a PQD teams and maybe DTM, Jahangir and Dinesh and all the board of the team of the PQD, we are aiming for two main reasons. The first one is to introduce a Toastmaster for the new member, which is an NMOP. Try to give him more session about how to choose the path, what type of the path, how to prepare a speech. Most of the workshop, the common workshop for NMOP. The other things which we wanted as the team is to empower new leaders, new player. And if you see most of the trainers we have from the experienced people that with us and new one. So thank you for taking this opportunity and support us. The good things we have it. We have, if you see today meetings, we have from Iraq, we have from North Egypt, we have from Kuwait, and we have from Bahrain. And the good things, we are discovering new leaders, new people who's taking the role, and they keep the level very high. So thank you, Nawar. You add a lot of us today. Great job. Thank you, Jihad, for everything that you are doing. Toastmaster Nasreen and maybe Vicky, because they are already, they do some training before with us, but thank you. You are amazing. You add a lot of things to it. Dinesh, Vikram, and even Mahod. Thank you all for being part of it. This is the main thing. We are working, inshallah, for the next NMOP. So please, from Iraq, from Egypt, recommend people to do presentation for us to be part of the NMOP. You are the ambassador for your country. We need to see more people, especially from Iraq and Egypt, to be part of District 20 activities, not in a PQD only, in a PQD with CGD, with BRM. Because one day, Iraq or Egypt, they will become a district, and you deserve to be a district. So we need to prepare as we can leaders from both countries. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Nawar.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear. Finally, I think we conclude with the group photo. I don't know how to do it, so I'm asking kindly the IT moderator. So, are you able to do it?
Yes.
Open the camera. We take a lot of photos,
Yes.
but please let everyone try if he can open the camera.
Yeah, can everyone switch on the cameras, please?
Even IT moderator, you can open the camera.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm switched on through backup camera because my desktop doesn't have a camera.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are switching on the cameras. We'll give it a minute and then I will take a screenshot. So 1, 2, and 3. Let me take one more picture.
Keep heart before the camera. Everybody keep heart.
Okay, one more. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Both the pictures are done.
Thank you so much, dear IT moderator, for your support. Okay, with that, I think I should say good night, everyone. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you in any other session. See you next. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.